see if I can kind of remember how this goes. I, somebody, is so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is alright with me. 'Cause you make me feel so brand new. And loving you got to be all I do. Whether times are good or bad or happy or sad, right on, let's stay together. You know, Al Green would get funky with you, like let's stay together. He made that face. Well, I think we adjourned. That was just little Al Green in the house for y'all. So shine 'em up good, going through the neighborhood. A Motorola phone and Kentwood. They think I'm a nigga. How does he say? How does he say it? They think I'm a nigga happy. I'm a trigger happy nigga. I'm a trigger happy nigga, so they step back, breathe. Yes, they think that I'm a trigger happy nigga, so they step back, breathe. To all the breeds, shout out to all the breeds in Detroit. Or excuse me, Flint. The breeds is from Flint. Flint. And let me explain this a little bit. When I use this small bowl can vibrate and it's grounding. You know, this is the grounding smaller vibration. But what I'm trying to see is, as I've said before, it's not necessarily attacks, but I try to see how dense the room is. Again, as we get into some spiritual pathways, you know, you kind of want to see, because sometimes I can tell when when it's just heavy with other energies in here, the bowl doesn't really expand as much. I know it's a period where I was saying the bowl didn't work, but also the energies were heavier around me. And so, and this detours a lot of funky energies too. Mm. Ah. Where the power of blue argonite propel you? Will the power of blue argonite propel you? Will the power of blue argonite propel you? And I try to give it to you the best I can. I try to give you this crystal energy that I want you to use, because through this crystal energy of the Virgin to help you cut through ignorance. You know, this is the original form of the trident you see. I mean, this kind of thing was shown throughout history, but originated more than likely in the Indus valleys, in the Vedas. They're probably the first to really talk about having the thunderbolt. May all your manifestations have the amplification of the diamond. May you add the diamond to your collection. Put the diamond in your bag, because the diamond will amplify. May I also show you the other fractal of the full Virgin in its fullest form. So I want you to be able to possess and call on all the power. Just don't want to give you a little bit of it. I want to give you as much as you can use. As I said before, you know, I don't try to bewitch or enchant. You know, I let you know in advance. There we go. See? The vibration I'm about to give you is a Virgin in its fullest form. So I don't even say, you know, I'm pushing something out without telling you. So the Virgin in vibrational form. Oh, I can see the light. Can you see the light? I can see the light. Glory be, the funk's on me. Well, greetings, all my late nighters. Welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. And I am your super funky host, Big Pontiac. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins. And I'm also the hipster that is your one and only daddy-o, welcoming each and every one of you chocolate mountaineers to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to as far as your thought can take you. And tonight's beer is Bayside Brown Ale that has hints of chocolate and caramel. The caramel, I don't mind it though. Only the second beer of the day, and this is a new day. So pop them if you got them. And I am in the Applebee's exclusive Detroit glass that you don't have. You just don't have this. And there's a scene in Cheek and Chong where they just put everything in their pipe. So there's some sweet monkey paw and some, I think, sour diesel wax and some other things in here. So smoke them if you got them. Peace pipe to all my people. Offer you peace. I come in peace. I do not come to trick anyone or profit off anyone. What's happening, everybody? Everybody, I'm just going to prepare you. SD is out there lurking. His Red Sox beat the Yankees 3-0. Devers blasted one deep. So SD, come on and get your love. My Twins suck. Lost to. Let me tell you what happened Saturday night. Twins up 3-0 in the eighth inning. The eighth inning. The worst hitter on the Angels is up with 2 outs. The worst hitter. 2 outs. He knocks in. Not only, okay, this is how messed up it was. He hits a ball that really was a one bounce. You might advance the run. That's what it was. Catch it on one bounce, throw it in. You holding everybody on bases loaded with 2 outs. No, the player tries to dive, misses it, the ball goes all the way to the fence. He gets it. The dude almost hit an in the park home run. And then they end up giving up a home run in the 11th inning. I mean, the shit was such bullshit. The Guardians won, so we're still 2 down. We're still 2 down. Vikings, hell, I didn't even see the game. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys, I'm a pickleball extraordinaire. I went to a different city. Well, I went into Minneapolis. As I explained before, Minneapolis does not have a west side of town. The west side of Minneapolis is called Robbinsdale. And next to Robbinsdale is Crystal, not far Plymouth. All this is right there together, but it's technically the west side of Minneapolis. So I was out there and we played. We got with a father and son. My best friend Tony hasn't played a lot. This was his 4th or 5th time playing, maybe his 4th time. We played 8 games. We played probably 2 hours straight, maybe a little slightly less. We played 8 games. So drove back home, which takes me roughly 25 minutes. Stopped and got me a bite to eat. And then I went to the pickleball park down where I live. Played with a couple. Well, no, first I just was like hitting some balls. I saw a couple and they was playing. They was like, well, our daughter really ain't played. And I'm like, I went and warmed up and finally I was like, yeah, let's play. This is the best way she's going to learn. So I played 2 games with them. Then the best players, I went up and I was like, can I get in this rotation? Got in that rotation. I don't think I won a game out of, 5 games. I think I lost every game with the better players. But actually, my game was okay. Playing pretty well. Everything, as I said, I want to peak now till September, play my best now. It's coming together. So, altogether, my workout was 3.5 miles worth of pickleball. Yeah, so really sorry. I saw my man PJ. He's protecting our auto industry. You lost 2 G's? Damn, what'd you lose 2 G's on, Don? I'm smooth, thank you. OTF, what is happening, OTF? Sherylita, how you doing? Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. To the moon. Oh, me too, man. I just did some of that straight sour diesel wax in the room. Oh, and I forgot that my edibles. My edibles is the blueberry. This name is so small. I want to say the company name. Here it is. It's Trojan Horse Cannabis. It's 100 milligrams of CBD with 10 milligrams of THC in each gummy of 5. Yeah. These are pretty bomb, too. So, forgot to throw those out there. I've been moving on them all day. So, great day. Beautiful weather in the 70s. Sherylita lives up north, and she's saying it's changing up there already. Like, as I mentioned, we're in mild weather right now. We're in mild weather. Last week, I think every day was in the 70s. Maybe we had 190. It's been in the 70s ever since. 70s right now. Probably less. We've been getting some 60-degree nights. I've been sleeping with air on. So, but everything is smooth. Beautiful day. I feel good. Go to chiropractor. Might even get some acupuncture in the morning. Kind of help move some of these energies. And that's what it's all about. Okay, tonight I do got a little few. Oh, I guess I'll highlight some stuff. Looking through the old records. This is my great-grandparents. Ada. Ada Wilson. Which would have been Ada Turner. No, yeah, she grew up Ada Turner. Adele was her real name, but she went by Ada. She actually, as a child, broke her kneecap. The way I like have to sit some of the times, she had to sit that way all the time because she broke her kneecap. They cut off. She probably tore her patella tendon, and they just took. They didn't know how to tie it back together back then, so they just took it out. So she had to live her whole life with a stiff leg. I want to read a little bit about my grandfather, how deep he was. They got married in 1909. This is their 50th anniversary, January 9th, 1959. Mr. William Ampey. Again, William Ampey is deep in our family history. There's a lot. That's a common name that goes back to some of the original Ampeys. I mean, it's really very common name. George and William. Paw Paw Township reserved their golden anniversary. The couple was married January 11th, 1909, in pretty much Van Buren County, where they lived. The bride was former Miss Russell. I'm sorry, Russell, not Turner. Turner would have been her mother's maiden name. Ada Russell. Now, her father actually came from the same area, probably a Catawba Indian, like my family as well. The bride was a former Miss Ada Russell of Allegan. Mr. Ampey's a native of Lawrence. They've lived in the same home of Decatur for the past 50 years. And then now they say that Generation X or whatever, they don't want to live in homes like that. Now, this is my grandfather, a prominent farmer and civic leader. Mr. Ampey is currently director of the Lake Community Hospital Board. He was the director of the hospital board. He has been active in Farm Bureau work and is past director of the Van Buren Farm. He served as the director of the Farm Bureau for 5 years. And then this goes into my bourgeoisie uncle. See, and this is the other form I want to show you. I want to show you this, and this is how bourgeoisie that my uncle was. This is my, let's see. Okay, yeah. So this is my great-grandfather's U.S. World War II draft registration card. Now, of course, he was too old because he was 57 years old, and he was born in 1884. So he's 57 years old, couldn't possibly fight in the war. But see, this is what his son didn't realize. Now, my great uncle was a professor at Southern University for probably 30 years. Retired there, pension, everything. But you know what? He worked for somebody. Look what my great grandfather put right there. What does that say right there? It says, name and address of employer. What'd he put? This nigga's a boss. Self. Now, right here it says, his son is a professor at Southern University, working for somebody else. Yet his daddy works for himself. Bourgeoisie niggas work for other niggas. That's why he was tricked. So I wanted to put that out there. Twins lost the. Don't even bring it up. That game they lost the Saturday night was so disgusting. After, look, our young pitcher pitched 6 innings. Great. He probably could have won another inning. No, they take him out and put all these dudes up and get these late runs. It was so ridiculous. That team ain't good. That team ain't got good pitching. That team ain't got. It made no sense. So they back 2 down. However, Yankees lost to the sorry ass Red Sox. So Devers blasted them. So no, they're still in second place. And they still have a pretty solid. I think they're going to make them solid. Man, the Vikings' second-string quarterback looked pretty good tonight. At one time, he missed. He had 2 dudes open while he was scrambling. 2 dudes open and missed them. But actually, the athleticism, my son was like, man, that looks like Lamar. It really did. His escapism made you think of Lamar Jackson. But again, it was a play where he had a clear touchdown. 2 dudes in the end zone clearly didn't see the play. So, but let me get into what I got. A couple of little things to. Yeah, I guess not. I'm gonna have to get up. I'm gonna have to get up and grab them, so I'm not gonna get up and grab them right now. Yeah, I think I am. While my mind's on it, let me bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Look at my plant. Look at my plant while I'm up. Oh, I need it. Where did I put it back? Oh, I fell down. Oh, help me. Fell down, I can't get up. Well, let me grab something else. All right. Here I am. First point I want to make. As you know, I showed you I got this book. And when you see bullshit, you got to call bullshit. So what he says in this book is, when Pontiac fought these motherfuckers during the War of 1812, Pontiac's War, that basically is what it's called. Pontiac, Tecumseh tried to do it later. He said, did no brothers help? Like Pontiac wasn't a brother, All the slaves that came to Detroit, and they had so many Indians, not knowing that the Indians is the niggas, especially in the Midwest. So, some good information, but again, he totes the same line, not understanding that the Negro and the Indian is one and the same in the Midwest. My chair's a little too far away. I think I can toss the book in there. Hey. All right. Okay. My other topic is this. All right. Once you understand this, let me find it. See which one I need. Now, okay. So again, when we talk about Yabatha, what controls this level of dimension that we're on, whatever this reality is called, the one that controls this is Yabatha. It goes by other names. I know I say Marduk sometimes, but it's Yabatha, Yadabath, whatever you want to call it. Now, I know Brother Bomber was talking about what is the Nagas, remember in the Golden Child, there's a picture of the Naga. Remember behind the curtain, there was a lady with a human body, but she had the snake, she had the human top, but the snake body. Bomber gets in to that a little bit, that's the Naga. But again, they call the Emerge is ignorant, tragic, megalomaniacal. In the Secret Book of John, is depicted as the ugly child of Sia, snake-like in appearance. Again, a Naga. With the face of a lion, eyes flashing bolts. So snake-like body, but a snake body, but a lion upper body or a lion head. Do you understand? So this is where, you get the cat kind of thing. His name, Yadabath, Sakal, Samuel. He's the chief archon, an arrogant, jealous god. This is the God that the Jewish faith people, in their writings, the jealous God, no God but me. The God that needs all this blood. This is that God. So all these other names, this if you're a Catholic or a Christian, even if you believe in Allah, this is who you believe in. Now, that's okay with you, that's okay. But understand, this is who you're giving that energy to. Now, my point of bringing that up is a lot of you, let me make sure I get this right. Okay. Yeah. Now, I know it is such a habit. Like that's why I get on language and speaking and the way you speak and the words you speak with and have to understand. So when you say, oh God, or you say, damn Jesus, you are really calling Yadabath. Oh my God, OMG. This is your affirmation for Yadabath. And we as a community say it all the time. We are so blind. They have got us so conditioned. We don't call our children children. That is why they do the children the way they do it. Because we don't even humanize our children anymore. Only goat lovers have kids, goats. Yadabath. Now, Yadabath is the one that teamed up with the Mai. Extension, his idea of the war, but how it does appear that Yadabath had to fight something to get this. I will give that distinction. There was some kind of way Yadabath fought something. Now, did he fight the other Nagas? Can't say. But he fought something to get this technology. Because it doesn't appear like this technology was new. Seems like technology has always been around. Bomber touches on that very brilliantly, and I think he's right. He talked about how, we're going backwards. We're not really going forward. Time is going backwards. We're not going up in time. We're going back in time. So understand your words. And understand if you say, oh God, oh Jesus, you are. It almost becomes a pact almost after a while because you're casting for that energy. So wanted to put that out there. I am betting Twins tomorrow, so they better beat the bum-ass Royals. The Royals lost to the Guardians tonight. The Guardians crushed them, so yeah, we should beat. Hey, Quiet, Redface, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Yeah, they should beat them tomorrow. Shit, I might fuck around. What time is that game tomorrow? No, I got to work tomorrow, but fuck around and go to the game. It was an early game. My friend went to see the Twins play tonight. Or no, the St. Paul Saints play. It was a really cool little stadium. They have a brand new stadium. Matter of fact, I think they are affiliated now with the Major League some kind of way. So I'm gonna make it to see the Twins play eventually. But yeah, that shit this weekend was some bum ass shit. That's why I don't bet on baseball when there ain't no other sports going on. I'll bet on baseball when there's other sports, but not by itself. So I wanted to put that out there. Oh, the second thing, wow. Now this is interesting, and I'm sorry. I hope I saved where I got this, but I want to put this out there and just to tell you the lies that we see automatically. Now, people don't really understand the Civil War. I'm one of the very few that really kind of try to get you in the mind frame of what the Northern Europeans really did. Again, as I said before, they bought something like 87 generals from Europe. And I don't mean immigrants. I mean European. Remember, they tell you how Washington got Lafayette. The French helped, supposedly help Washington. But they got a lot of, the Europeans in the North got a lot of help because, again, it was the Federals. The South was only mad at the federal government, which was that, the Vatican, 10 miles. But at the first battle of Manassas, which is also called Bull Run, I found this. And I hope I can find it again. Sorry, I didn't. Maybe I screenshot. I don't know. But in the very first Civil War battle, well, some people say Fort Sumter, but not really. The Battle of Manassas, Bull Run. The first Bull Run was the first battle. Northern troops reported that they came upon Negro troops from the South. And that a Negro company of troops killed most of their men. They were hand-to-hand fighting at one point with these Negro troops that fought for the South. Another tell about being attacked, probably almost a brigade size of Negro troops from the South in the very first battle. Another battle I found, again, for the South, the people reported they were attacked by Negroes. So all this, even my relatives in the 54th, Negro troops fought for the South in the very beginning. So understand this. They don't want you to understand it was the Jewish faith people that wanted more control in the South. That was the only reason the war was fought. It had nothing to do with slavery. Slavery was Reconstruction. Slavery was the rise of the Reconstruction was also the rise of the hillbilly. So I want you to, understand that. And hopefully I've saved this, but it was a very little small article, but it was witnesses saying these niggas we was fighting niggas. And like one guy was like, we was fighting niggas and every nigga I see from now on, I'm going to kill them all. That's what he says. He says the niggas killed my friends. So if I see niggas from now on, I'm going to kill niggas. That's what he says. Southern, so fighting for Southern rings. So I wanted to put that in there. And this is another way of thinking too. This is another way of thinking. I don't know, but if we can go with this, bringing all these Latinos in here just really makes me think that this they're using this conquistador energies, because we know that the Europeans, the way the European looks, they're going to disappear in the next 25 years, and the only way that these Europeans think that they can succeed is turn these conquistador, these relatives of conquistadors into America, the new America. And then the new European will be, partly Latino conquistador European. And that's the way they think they can hold power. So I wanted to share that. The new movie, Jamie Foxx is in a dress almost from the very beginning. Wanted to say that. I didn't watch all of it. Actually, they dropped some gems about vampires. Really, what's the new movie called? First Shift, I think it's called, with Snoop Dogg a little bit in it and Jamie Foxx. Actually, they're dropping some gems about vampires. Remember, as I said, vampires don't wear shorts. But really, like they say, like different types of vampires. I mean, it's interesting that they give out. So it's some of this stuff. If you listen to it, it's actually worthy. So I only saw the first movie, but at the very beginning he wears a dress, and of course we know Jamie Foxx being Wanda. Jamie Foxx almost did what Tyler Perry did, backed his way into Hollywood, being Wanda. Let me tell you something that's disturbing here. As I said before. This is switches started coming in here. And even though switches can be made on 3D printers, the way they came into the north side of Minneapolis and the way they were used, this is military use. This is somebody giving these niggas this stuff. I mean, I am a social scientist. I've lived where I talk about, I've lived in that area, and I know how the government works in supplying certain groups. Again, the government is always, local governments have always been involved in all the drug trades. There's always somebody there that it goes through. There's somebody that's in the know that's going to know, and it's like, hey, let this go through. There's no way that it can't operate. A lot of the kickbacks are done this way. Turn a blind eye. And I'm not talking about, the local dude on the corner. I'm talking about this big shipments. There's hundreds of, a couple $1 million, and could go into hundreds of millions over time. So these ain't sloppy people doing this. These ain't amateurs. These people that's been doing it. As I said, this is a test area. I watched the test up to Floyd, Bastille, Young, and then Floyd. I mean, I just saw the pattern. As I mentioned before, I saw taking my daughter to school. I'm like, this shit is about to change. I mean, I just remember feeling that for just the longest. I'm like, this shit is about to change. This shit, me picking my daughter up, I just felt it. I talked about it. And lo and behold. But I mentioned George Floyd. Now, 3 people have got killed where George Floyd. They call it George Floyd Square. They put the Nazi salute in the air. That's in the middle. It's like they took, I think it's Chicago and Lake, but it's on Lake, so you can't go all the way through. They cut that off. But it's, the right on Nazi salute. It don't matter if you do this or this, it's all the Nazi salute. So that's what's in the middle of George Floyd Square. And this is the third, a dude got killed there today. 2 young people got killed, so a third got killed there today. The niggas that was shooting up in the mall, apparently what happened in the Mall of America was, and me and my friend argued about Nike being on the 3rd floor. As I said before, it used to be whatever they called it, where the basketball area was called the courtroom. It just sold basketball. It was part of the Nike store, but it just sold basketball, shoes, and shorts and shit. It was a Nike store, but more exclusive basketball, where you get the basketball shoes. But this is, I think that now they just turned it into more of the Nike store. This is where they were shooting. So apparently These two niggas was up in the store and got their ass beat up in the store. And then they went back to the cars and got guns and shot up in the store. Another couple helped them get away, which is aiding and abetting a felony. So they about to get hit too. So what else is happening today? Oh, that's right. You got the new name. That's right. I forgot. You got the new name. You're a Midwest nigga. Yeah. Oh, definitely. I grew up in Michigan. Did you watch Prey? Not yet. Not yet. You know, Jeffrey was talking about that the other night. I haven't watched Prey. Yeah, I forgot you changed the new channel. But yeah, I haven't watched Prey yet, so I'll catch up with that. I haven't watched Sandman either. I haven't. I guess Sandman, you know, Quantum of Science was saying he had one of them comic books, and the comic books are extremely rare. But he says the story, they fuck up the story. Hey, Amy Parker, how you doing? Thank you. That's so cool. And as I've said, you know, I tease about saying, you know, parody spells and stuff, but understand, you know, these things are pushed out for a reason. Excuse me, because there are beings out there that really use this power. You praise them. You know, we praise a lot of things without even knowing it. We give a lot of things energy we really don't mean to give our energy to. So it's all. This is one reason for the speaking. I mean, the English that we speak is nothing but hexing. So that's why it's really important not to speak in the language of the hex, to break the type of hex, the hex cadence. That's why I say, when, you know, all of a sudden you could really do where you could find all the talking heads and do a thing of all the talking heads, say, at the end of the day. I mean, you listen to a person, it's just funny to hear a person say a whole intelligent sentence, and then somewhere there in the intelligent sentence they say, but you know what? And it ain't even a filler word. As I said, in Nope, you know, they used it one time. Popular saying, they used it one time. But the movie was a whole bunch of that time. Are you good? You know, that kind of deal. Even the Nope, like, yeah, you know, it's like the cowardly Negro. When he said Nope, it was like the cowardly Negro kind of thing. You know, I mean, it, you know, even though the Three Stooges was funny, it showed that the cowardly Negro every time. But that's all right. I come from a line of brave men. I hope you do too. You good, strong men, you definitely did. And that's what you need to be. You know, good, strong brother, good, strong sister, however you want to be. Good, strong woman. You got a man, don't tear your man down. You know, build your man. Don't fall for the division. Remember, the twins is the thing. The twins, Adam and Eve, had to be twins too. Another story of the hero twins. That's why they have certain strong. The beast tries to copy after a certain time. Of course. And you know, as I talked about my brother with his first wife, one thing I caught about her when they first got together, you know, when I first moved back to Michigan, we was around each other. We got married together, but being around her, and she was saying how they was wearing sweatshirts backwards with tags out. She said, sure enough, they went to a store, and what did you see? You saw the sweatshirts backwards with tags out. And these people actually send, you know, these social scientists out to see, you know, for the stores, to see what people have made themselves, so they can put it in the store and mass produce it and put you out of business if you try to come up with it. That's capitalism. You got the M. And you know, we live in a thing, you know, brother Obama always talks about, you know, we live in a thing of copies, and it really is. As I said, people, my brother's on here. There's a young man, he's Indian, from India, and he looks like our cousin Kelly. He has her face, total has her face at 15, 16. He looks more like her than her daughter. It's unbelievable. This is an Indian dude too, from India, and he's not a little guy. This guy's about 6'3", at least 6'3". He's a tennis player, but kicks ass on in pickleball. But he has our cousin Kelly's face. And so this replica thing, again, I told you before, years ago, the names. Like now, what is the odds of not just my son being Junior? My name is very Brian, for brothers. Now there's at least 20 relatives that have my name that I'm distantly related, other than my son being a junior. My son is a junior. So they've been run out of names, and I really think they've run out of faces too, and bodies, and I mean it's just people look alike. Now, of course, them people live in Russia don't look like none of us in America, unless they come here. Of course, you can look at Americans, and we look pretty much different than the rest of the world. That's why that Africa shit never made any sense. We don't look like them, not really. Americans look completely different. And you see all the different tones from South America, from the islands all the way up to the Eskimos. How they used to say that, you use a different shade because of the amount of sun you get. They could never say how the Eskimos, the Inuits up there, were still dark-skinned people, and they rarely got any sun. Or on the country, in the world, they got the least amount. Certain parts, but these people were still dark people. I mean, when you look at Matthew Henson and you look at the people he found up, or not found, but was up there, they look kind of alike. Commander Perry didn't look. Commander Perry fell out. Henson went to the North Pole first. But of course, Perry gets all the attention. Your son's a Jew. You got the Midwest accent. My son? No, he's not Jewish faith. But my 27-year-old son got the curls, though. My 27-year-old son got the curls where he could wear the curls down, like, them big hat Jewish faith people. He could look like that. But no, I am not Jewish faith at all. They didn't let me in the club. Maybe they'll do me like they did Sammy Davis Jr. They let him in. They even gave him a spot in Israel. I don't know if people know that about Sammy. They even gave him a spot in Israel. That's Tommen on a high level. You got the curls too? Oh, my son, I gotta put a picture up there of him. Yeah, he's got the curls. It's interesting. He's 27. He's not starting to go bald yet. But then again, there's a picture of me over here with my son, about 30. And you can see it's. But again, I made a mistake of people always. It's a mistake for dudes to get edged. Eventually you be edged way back here. It's like funny. I was looking for the old Smokey Robinson music, and it used to be like the dudes with the bald afros. It'd be like bald back here and all afro. I got a friend. He's like 62, 63, very well conditioned brother, boxer, still trains, but but it's like he got dreads, but his hair, it's like he got dreads way back here. I mean, dreads are thick, but it's like all this is bald. And the back is the dreads. Whatever your thing is your thing. You can't let go of your hip hop. That's you. He did the bar mitzvah. Did he do the bar mitzvah? Hell no. He was a Negro. Yeah, those were kind of cute. Do you think ancient Egyptians were black? Because I don't think so. Nah. I think the people in Kush definitely was. Now is the interpretation right? Was it called the Black Lands? Was Kemet really the Black Lands? What the record shows, and if you really look at I know a lot of people don't, I study a lot of Indian, the Verdas and a lot of that cultures. And two things it did seem to so one thing, the Sumerians, again, had to be melanated people. Now, was they chocolate dark? Can't really say, but they had to be melanated where they came from. All those people were melanated type of people. Again, Aboriginals is melanated folks, and these Sumerians appear to be that. Again, if you go to Babylon, Babylon is a direct movement of the people from Samaria, some of those early towns. Babylon, we get Yadabah declaring himself as Marduk, running Babylon. Again, these had to be melanated people. If it really exists, again, did it really exist? Then we go to Kemet. And again, it had to be melanated people. Now, they weren't Arabs. Arabs came in later. Weren't Arabs. The Arabs end up with the shit, and they put the face of the shit in an Arab. Awazi, I think was his name, for years until they caught him stealing and lying about some shit. So, yeah. They would have been melanated people, but I was saying two things happened. We know the Mayan helped them and gave them. The Mayan gave the Olmec. The Olmec gave the world pyramids. The Olmec gave the world zero. The world, not just them, everybody. The concept of zero. And they gave them the concept of pyramids. Again, their concept, they didn't give them. It's like when you give a little bit, they didn't give them a lot. Now, step pyramids is what's different about the Americans. It went all the way up to Chachayo. It went all the way up to Spiral, Arkansas, where we had the pyramids with the terrace. We do everything on top. We don't get under. That is the information. That's the way we gave the information to them. They got under it. And there's a way to, amplify that out, no doubt. But you're enclosed. You want the full energy of what's under you. The way we practice it. Arabs are mixed. There you go. Hey, Stacy. You read Gilgamesh? Yeah, Gilgamesh is deep. Because Gilgamesh was a demigod, and Gilgamesh was like, when Gilgamesh became of age, like 15, 16, he went around whooping everybody's ass. I mean, he was straight up, this is going to be the demigod who's going to be the next king, and he's just whooping everybody's ass. And they actually was like, damn, we just can't have him whooping ass like that, So they brought the beast down. And the beast is his twin, if you really look at it. And the beast is, running around fucking animals and shit until he meets Gilgamesh and they kick it. But then they show Gilgamesh's humanity, when his beast friend, and he has a name, forgive me, when he dies. And despite Gilgamesh being able to go see what would be perceived as the original, where their people came from, their heaven, their main gods, and given the flower, the tree, for eternity, he still lacked enough to keep it. He still lacked to keep it. He lost that. Even though it was given to him. To live forever was given to him. He made the human mistake of being tricked out of it, or it being stolen from him. So, not knowing that you're going to live forever anyway. You don't need anything external to make you live forever. So, yeah. But he's really the world's first superhero in a lot of ways. The world's first superhero. That challenge the gods different than the challenges that we see of the Greek gods, who were later copies of a lot of this. I mean, Samaria was the first flood story. And you see it copied by the Jewish faith people. You see it even copied by the Russians. So, but yeah, Gilgamesh is interesting. Stinchen, he gets into the last book of Eniki. Stinchen writes about Gilgamesh, which is kind of he gives Gilgamesh like a whole chapter or so. But a lot of things that Stinchen said was kind of showed to be bogus and favored his story. So, But the Gilgamesh story kind of checks out what the other people say. But it's the oldest superhero story. Uh, and as I said before, the Mayan knew, the first Mayan, and I meant to bring her out. I meant to bring my statue of Hathor, because actually Hathor is the oldest of the Egyptian gods. It was the first god, and that goes directly. That's a copy from the Mayans. They use the mother god that goes back to Mu. The original kind of thought of this that's outside of Yadabath. That's the thing. Is Mu is outside of Yadabath. So those of us that can still really feel and use the energy of Mu through Hathor, some ways through Isis, those of us that, and even Sophia, those of us that can still touch into that, we almost get out of the range some ways of Yadabath, because we don't just follow him and his idea of just dominating women. Of course, me having this dominating shirt, which is, if I got a tattoo, I'd get this tattoo. I always thought, this is great artwork. I hate I didn't buy the jeans. I could have got it on my butt. But anyway, so this is how we get this. I can't say we get protected by the ancestors, but we get protected because we're able to think outside of the mind, outside of Yadaba's control. Yeah, now they're bringing AI Decipher, the cuneiform tablets. Well, they wanted to experience everything to best ways to learn how to attack us. That's of course that they kind of do that. But people have to understand these names and who controls this reality and what matrix we are under. These are names. That's how you overthrow the gods. See, they want to trash Lilith so much because the story comes, they tell the full story of a woman saying, no, I'm not subservient to this man. I don't come from this man. I'm separate. And I know your name. You know God's name. Later you see the stories of Rumpelstiltskin, but it's the same thing. You know God's name. What can he do? So if she knew Yadabath's name, she was like, Yadabath, you have no power over me. This dumb motherfucker don't even know your name. He don't even know how to break out of your spell. So to create this matrix, he's going to bring another one in there. And then we're going to take away the hero twins or the brothers. Like even Gilgamesh tells you, the two brothers working together. Once Gilgamesh fights the creature, the creature is his main man from Japan. They're inseparable till he dies. But they fight together. That's the idea. But that's not the Cain neighbor. Kill your brother. Be jealous. Be a hater. I just remember the first dude I saw was a hater was my guy Jam and Gerald. And my guy Jam and Gerald, like, we was walking, I don't know, going to get some chips or some bullshit, some beer or something. And he saw a dude in them old Cadillacs, like with the big windows. Them had to be, it was some of the ugliest Cadillacs ever made. What was the years of them big Cadillacs? Like 97, maybe. Ugly Cadillacs had the super big ass windows. And I remember he was walking and he was like, man, and then a brother pulled up with his Cadillac and was getting some gas. And we was walking and shit. And I didn't even see the nigga, wasn't paying attention. Again, I'm not a hater like that. And I remember Jerry was like, them niggas driving them little body Cadillacs think they got it going on. Well, I'm looking at a nigga getting gas, and even though my car was, not fire, but this nigga's getting gas, jumping his Cadillac. Jam Gerald didn't have a car at all. So he was my man. But he was one of the first instances of me seeing a pure hater. Because you ain't got it. You think that and misery loves company. Misery loves company. Motherfucker try to fuck with your car because they miserable. We want them, our car ain't working, so we want you to feel as bad as we feel that our car don't work. I mean, that's how, the haterism goes. I offer to try to help somebody get a way to fix their auto, I see something wrong with them. Like, I know some people that can kind of fix your stuff. They get mad at me, think I'm better than them. And that's the kind of haters you see. No, I come from a group of people where we try to help each other. They are hyped about artificial intelligence, but it's artificial. We beat the beast. Well, the Maya too. The Maya ain't real intelligence, even though they call it the civilization building. It's the anti-civilization that it builds. That's what the Maya does. It's the anti-civilization build. It's the civilization of control. It's the civilization for slavery. That's what the Maya is good at. I mean, that's where Europeans get so tricked. I mean, if you ain't rich, again, they didn't want you even marrying their people. You got to understand who these people really are. These people have always just married each other. You don't see none of these people just marrying some random John. It don't work like that for them. For hundreds of years. And these poor people that look at Trump and don't understand that this is some of the old money lines. And Trump, his family ain't really old money. Not really old money like some of these others. But they related to them. And so they keep these names going. And these common Europeans don't understand that they despise you. They don't understand how much they hate you. They only love the blue bloods. They only love the people that are related. And related through these businesses. They hate the common man. But yet you got the common people love them more than you love your family. You got common people that are European that love these politicians more than they love their family and would do anything these politicians say. Believe these politicians without any question at all. And you are played. And I feel so sorry for you that you get played so easily and fooled so easily. It's like you see this thing, if you old enough, if you at least 25 years old, you've seen this thing over and over and over again. As I said before, gas prices is based on futures. These prices have been low. But what today I went in the city where I'm at, the lowest I see is $3.96. I get in the city, $3.70 something. We getting into voting in November, the price is probably gonna drop to $2.99. And they do us just as dirty. After the elections, the shit gonna go up almost 60, 70 cents. Watch. This is what they do to us every time. The futures is showing you right now. If you watch the gas tomorrow, it's gonna trade between 88, 89. This is gonna be the prices already in September. And the gas prices is gonna keep dropping. They ain't demand, people ain't traveling. Well, people ain't traveling a lot. People ain't being suckers. It's like I look at brothers and sisters that go over to Europe and look at that shit. Why do you care? Why do you want to go see the pyramids? Why do you want to go see they shit? This beautiful shit all in America. Why do you care about this shit? I don't want to see none of that shit. None of it. None of that shit. I just want to go down to South America, go to Mexico, see that stuff. Because that's where the real power is. You see niggas going all around the world posing with the Eiffel Tower and shit, which ain't got nothing to do with you. People that put that together hate you. Motherfuckers going to Greece and shit. Intrusions. Okay, did you go look up that shit? No, you go look up the Greek European shit. You didn't go look up the shit where the brothers and sisters worked or lived. Intrusions, the ones that started that shit over there. No, you look at what they showed you, more European shit. How have they tricked you? How have they brainwashed you to want to go look at their shit and live their history? And don't even want to live and study your own history that has to do with yourself. You want to look up their shit and glory in their shit, and that shit ain't got nothing to do with you. So disgusting, all the people that really celebrate the 4th of July, and they ain't got nothing to do with melanated people. It's the conquering of melanated people. And I'm gonna put together animation that shows you how you'll wear all the colors of victory, the red, white, and blue, and it's like all of us in the middle, and they circle us with cannons and shooting cannon fire on us. and we barbecuing while we being bombed. It is that, mentally, it is really that. We out there twerking and shit, playing music while we seeing people around us getting hit with bombs. And we don't care because it ain't us. My grill is still going. My party's still going. They ain't bombing me right now. This is the attitude that the Americans was fooled about. Thinking if it's good for me, it's good for you. You know, if it's just good for me, then fuck what's going on with everybody else. That's the attitude that the tribes had. Not understanding if one tribe go, they trying to take them all out. Don't you understand what this is about? Who the real enemy is? I mean, hell, the reset they just did. Do you understand what they just did? And how they got the whole world to cover up in 2 weeks? Something unprecedented to make everybody in the world do the same shit. It ain't never happened. But yet they made everybody do that shit. You see the wickedness in what we facing? Yadabop's world? That's the shit he do. Jealous guy. Everybody need to be like, do the same shit. This is Yadabop shit. This is the mind. Artificial intelligence is trying to make the mind real because it's jealous because it ain't real. It's trying to be real. That's what artificial intelligence comes from. It comes from the mind. It's trying to make the mind real. And it doesn't appear like any other world made it real. So apparently it had to keep going from one place to the other because it couldn't duplicate. Because that's, Brother Bomber got into that. This is a duplicate motherfucking system that Yadabop has put together. But yet the mind can't be duplicated. The mind can't duplicate itself into being a full human. It gets jealous of the human because it can never understand what being a human is like. Always the niggas with no cars walking talking about someone else's cars. Yeah, that was Gerald. That was definitely Gerald, OTF. That was definitely Gerald. Oh, that shit was so funny. I can still remember it though. Them niggas with short body cat, he think he got it going on. And you know, he pimped back to the house like he done said some strong shit. Like, nigga, I just had to give you some money to get your shit. And I mean, we only had like to walk up the street to get the beer and shit. But it was like, this nigga said that shit. It was like, God damn. I ain't think nothing about it when I saw the nigga. I'm like, okay. I hated them big window Cadillacs, though. I mean, the motherfucking window was, you know, the window was, some of the Lincolns had them in the back, too, you know. So the town cars, but it was some ugly goddamn Cadillacs. That was one of the ugliest ones. Oh, yeah, niggas with no cars, yeah, they be the worst haters. Niggas just hang in the blocks, you know, just hang out the blocks because they ain't got another car. So, you know, they try to holler at bitches that go by the stores, bodegas, whatever you want to call it. Niggas hanging on the blocks and shit. You know, Sly and Nick got into that shit. You know, just funny. The funniest of funny shit, you know. Motherfucker can walk to the block and be dressed and trying to crack it as chicks come to stores and shit, you know, trying to see if somebody will, you know, take the bait, you know. And women will sponsor motherfuckers too, though. I mean, you know, niggas will sponsor people too, but people get sponsors easy, which people not realizing, you know, that's what you create. You become the motherfucking sponsor. Thinking that, you know, the dream comes, the dream involves you. Not understanding your stepping stone. And can't nobody tell them that, you know, be like, look, yo, you a stepping stone. You better recognize that shit. Because if the shit jump off, you definitely ain't going. It's hard to tell that to somebody if they don't see it. That if what you helping put together comes into something, you ain't gonna go. But you can't tell nobody that. can't tell your friends that, you know, that if what they're supporting ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work in the long range for them. But you have to sit back and like, okay. And to be serious takes a coldness. To be a serious person takes a coldness. Now, I've said many times, I go to war, it's like Old Dog said. Old Dog is one of the best characters that ever came into the movies. Tay Lawrence, I think is his name. He should have got Academy Award for playing Old Dog. I mean, really should have. He played the character so strong. And he talked about total war. So I don't care who out there. See, people want to threaten and stuff, but people ain't willing to take it there. Some people are. That's why people never know who they messing with. Because there's people out there that will take it to total war. So, understand who y'all messing with before you mess with people. Because there's some people that take everybody you know out. And you be sitting there like, damn. And let you live. Make you live the pain that you fucked up. That you caused this line. And don't nobody ever get convicted of nothing. Or if they do, they get off. And you ain't got that money to get off. You just got to have enough game of what you did to explain it, to convince people that you had to do what was done. Like Malcolm said, they turn it. They can turn it. So you fuck with people, be prepared with that sometime. Because people might come back harder than what you think. So this is giving me that. All right. Better. Better. Okay. Just playing with this. Oh, I want to say this to everybody. Everybody, I don't mind following Sly on Saturdays. I think I might just start taking Saturdays off. Maybe some Saturdays I'll follow Sly, but I kind of like just doing 3 nights, taking Saturday off, finishing up on Sunday, and then coming back next Thursday. I think that way will keep me from being burned out as much. Football's coming, a lot more to talk about coming up in sports-wise. And so that's the way I think I can energize myself. Just like what I went, Sly said he was coming back on. He didn't end up coming back on. I went to bed at 1:30 last night. Slept until 11:30. So, hey, Stacey Ray, do you have specific sugarite for your water? Trying to figure out if just normal pure sugarite chunks are good or that crushed up sugarite. I've had both sent to me. I've had small royal sugarite, which was probably my most effective. My Russian guy says every 6 months you probably should just buy it and regurgitate. A way of charging the sugarite is definitely moonlight. Full moons is what they suggest for charging it. But in this cup, I have both. I would say some of the book, I got the Russian book, and some of the Russian book says that the royal, not necessarily good for, all of it's good for water, but is a better filter. My other Russian guy, no, it's wet, but my other Russian guy says that if it doesn't have pyrite and quartz in it, it ain't got no healing properties. That's what he says. He says it's got to be, the more dull, But not only the dull, but it has to have pyrite and it has to have quartz to health wise. So you don't necessarily see that in the royal, but that's what one of my guys says. So I kind of liked the little pieces of royal better. I had that for about 5 years. It seemed to recharge a little better. Got a little lazy when I get this stuff from my other guy because I need to get a new batch from him. So yeah. So I would say if you got the rough, and you hit me up, I can give you his name. Of again, my piece I use in the shower has both pyrite and the quartz in it. Uh, I kind of wipe my whole body with that bar. Um, does seem to have a little more healing qualities. Uh, this one I just showed you, the first dude I started getting sugar from was saying don't use that kind. I had been using that kind up to that point. It didn't seem to affect me. So I say you could probably use a combination of both. The other, you're probably going to change a little more, but it's probably a good habit to charge the sugarite that you filter with every 6 months, or even trade it. Right now, my old sugarite are in all these two plants, like my big corn plant here. I put some of the sugarite in it, so that could help you too. Yeah. So both are okay. Yeah, I wanted before I started watching some movies. I said, "You must have went to sleep." Yeah, I did, man. I did go to sleep. I went to bed early. How can I let you hit me up? Eagle, Eagle, are the bomb at gmail.com. Eagle are the. And it's a miner. I deal with a miner. They make other stuff, but I deal with a miner that, he'll break it down to you too. And they're not just trying to sell the stuff, but trying to tell you how they use it. Because their refrigerator filters are with sugarite, not charcoal like we in America. They use sugarite to filter their water systems. Their big water systems use sugarite too. So the Russians do. So yeah, Eagles are, so it's Eagle, not an S, Eagle are the bomb at gmail.com. Eagle are the bomb at gmail.com. And I'll give you the name of him. I got a couple guys I use, but what I have now, I got from the miner, and he's a miner. And that's kind of what I like. I like dealing with the miners. Now, some of my other pieces weren't from the miners, but even this piece, you can see the quartz in it. This doesn't have as much pyrite, but you want this you want it to look like this. And royal tends not to have that. They're more of a vibrational stone. And I can bring the book. Well, I'm not going to be on tomorrow night, but one night when I come by next week, I'll try to bring my sugarite book. I don't think it's in these. And what she suggests, I'll give you, some information what she suggests. I know Crazy Sarge sent me a lot of sugarite, and I messed up what I bought because I didn't mess up what he bought me, but what I bought. But really, I want to give out. I want to paint some little squares because really, one of the best things you can do with sugarite is you can take the powder and you can paint little squares, and you can paint little squares and put them on your Wi-Fi, and it actually will help. If you don't have the stones, it'll help hold some of those. We're getting all these Bluetooth and all these radiation. It can slow that down. Now, I know Form Runner was saying that he saw that it was slowing some of that he put real sugarite around on top of something. It was slowing down his internet rate. So I kind of moved. I have a pyramid near mine, though. Like I have in this room alone, I have two, like the square is great. Now, this is great for people that don't live. I live on the second floor. This is great for grounding. Again, sugarite is a grounding stone. Very high vibrational. And just meditating with this stuff. I mean, this stuff, if you want a stone, that if you want to feel what a stone will rush you, this will do it. If you think that you can that there's stones that don't do nothing, just take a few minutes because see, this is what a lot of people do. They'll get a stone one time and like sit there and like, well, it didn't do shit. It don't work like that. You take a stone, be consistent with it, and you sit with some stuff like this, and if you don't see your head pop off, this shit will take you off so quick. This one stone that'll make you feel that. If you do this often enough and you start using it, this shit will like literally be like one of them Nazi bombs that they say the astronauts did. So I hope that's it. That's my email, eaglearethebomb@gmail.com. And I'll give you the miner's name. Barbecuing while they're getting bombed. Oh yeah, yeah. 4th of July ain't for us. That's they celebrate that conquering. That's the conquering date. Thanksgiving is even worse. That's a butcher's kind of thing. Really, what they celebrate, and they celebrating the butchering. I mean, what you have to understand is, the mongrels they didn't live in cities. When these people came to the East Coast, my family and other families on the East Coast was in cities. Cities, not wigwams, cities. We wasn't chasing them animals around. We wasn't had a special day where we need buffalo. It was enough game where we chased other things. And buffaloes, for the most part, wasn't bothered. That's what people don't understand. The buffaloes, for the most part, was bothered by the mongrels. When they got the fuck away from the mongrels, when they went in New York for the summer and they went down south, for the most part, they wasn't bothered. Mongrels was the one eating that shit. And like I said, there's a reality where they let them live. They ain't slaughtered. They wasn't allowed to slaughter. Yabatha's reality is the backward reality. As I said, John Travolta made a movie where it showed brothers being in charge. That reality is there. It definitely is there, where it's opposite of what we live now. But the John Travolta try to mix it where we act like them. That's what they make you think, that this reality, the real reality, where the melanated people are in charge. They want to make you think that if we are in charge, that our reality is acting like them. And that's what they show in this movie. We take their attitudes. Now talking about the times of harmony. That's the idea of Lemuria, where we worked and loved everything. That the humans, nature, worked with everything. We didn't think we were better. We didn't take more than we needed. American Indians on the East Coast didn't cut down trees. There was so much that it fell down, they would specifically build their homes out of felled trees. They didn't try to destroy their nature. And this is not victim talk. I mean, what was done by the European is they literally did a virus on the nation. They almost de-animaled the whole country over hunting. They had to stop them from killing all the animals in the country, up and down. They decimated all the trees. We know that. That's what caused the Dust Bowl. They decimated the trees from one coast to the other, killed all the big mammals, saved the deers. That's about it. They almost killed everything. In a way, they almost did what Vlad did to his country, killing everything. They said what they would do is they would not only attack, when the men and women were there, but they would burn the crops down and make the people starve. This is how dirty the Europeans came. It's not victimism, it's telling you the real history, how they conquered. And what they want to do now to make that go away. So future Europeans don't feel bad. No, we had nothing to do with that. So we shouldn't feel bad for all the bloodletting. Well, you come from a culture, number one, most middle class or poor Europeans are despised by the upper class. Because they look at you as a European, you're supposed to rise just by being a European. But they know that the majority of Europeans are poor in this country. And they want to keep them poor because they'll feed their armies. They'll feed their armies and dedicate themselves. The same with the poor melanated people too. It's funny, I said this many times before. I remember Facebook on Military Day. I knew all these dudes. Poor, 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 grew up poor, grew up poor, grew up poor. I mean, just hundreds of dudes. Thank you for your service. Grew up poor, grew up poor. Yeah, I knew you too. Grew up poor, grew up poor, grew up poor. And I even, even though I know how hard it was for my brother following my footsteps, how hard it had to be. And knowing that he wasn't going to get a scholarship to play somewhere, I know he wanted to leave too. And even though we weren't poor, our parents really probably weren't without a scholarship. It was and him working. There was no way he was probably going to go to college. So he took the opposite. He went into the military. But I did give him advice. I said, go ROTC, and that's what our cousins did, because you become you go through ROTC, and I don't think college was for my brother either. That's another thing. And so he did his service, and he got to leave home, because a lot of young men, when they get to 18, like me, when I moved, I never moved back. I never moved back once I left. And I understand wanting to leave, and the military will help you with that. How long I've been going? Damn, that long? No, I wasn't in the military. My brother was. Hey, Jody. Just Jody, thank you for joining me. I never understand why blacks celebrate any of those holidays. Yeah, it's not for us. It's good seeing your family. People don't have to work. That's good, but it's a mocking. It's a mocking. It's a mocking on melanated people. And you think it's something that you celebrate, and it ain't for you. It's actually opposite. The spell is used against you, because it takes away the wickedness. It takes away the wickedness. If you accept it. Somebody know. As I said before, I took the test because I had a friend that told me about a hustle we could do. We could go to Fort Knox and we could train with basic training. And then at the end of the training, we was going to get a grant. So went through all the testing, got all the physicals, and was all set. Well, I tested so high, the Air Force wanted me to come in. And it was to the point where it looked like I was going to join the Air Force and just go ROTC, stay at A&T and go ROTC. And it just happened where the basic training was like 2 weeks into football camp. And they was like, well, just tell your coach that, you're going to be 2 weeks late. Well, it's like saying I wasn't going to play. 2 weeks late, I wasn't going to play. The whole year, I've been back on the scout team. So I was like, you guys can't do me any solid. Defer me a couple weeks to let me finish. And then when I tried to do the Fort Knox shit, they had my ticket in the Kalamazoo airport. So I didn't end up going. Because my idea was to get a grant, fly to California to see my girlfriend, kick it back, come back, have some money, get a car, go back to North Carolina. So, but to be officer, that was the thing. The officer, you came out, and my college graduating class was 83, make 25 grand coming out. I said again, 25 grand was basically 500 a week. That was the goal in 84, 85. Hustling was the goal, to make $1,500 a day. Hustling, $1,500 a day was the goal. But it's working. When I worked, it was like always the goal was to make 500 a week. And then the goal was 1,000. You understand? And now what is it about? You want to make about 5,000 a week. So what is 100 grand? 100 grand is what? 2,300 a week, something like that. No, 12. Yeah, roughly 5,000 a month is 100 grand, right? Something like that. So when I first made 100 grand, but it's equal to that $500 in the 80s. It's equal to that. To make $100,000 now is equal to that 25,000 back in 85. So that much hasn't changed about the way things are. But my body feels good. I'm in pickleball shape. October, I think I'm going to start hooping again. Kind of scared. But I think I'm in shape enough to hoop once a week. And maybe go to Lifetime some mornings. I don't know. We'll see how good I feel. But I feel good enough. So, thinking about it for sure. It feels good to be in shape. It feels good to work everything out. My manifestations are coming. So, And if they bust wide open the way they're getting close to, I'll be able to show a lot more love, for real. So I got to still send out Brother Sean's stuff. And then Conspiracy University. And man, Conspiracy, if you hear this Christmas stuff, it looks like it's going to be really being able to put some business together for Christmas. So if you listen to this video, I'll have to give you a call because I know you got the baby coming. Your baby's probably born hopefully by now. So yeah, you listen to this. And those of you, again, gold is, you want gold stuff, we can get you gold stuff. We can get you a lot better price than some of these people trying to kill you with. So in the community, we have a goldsmith in the community. So we're gonna start. Well, Sly showed his work. I'm thinking of. I want to send this to him and get this diamond up or crystalled up. I'm gonna get him to do this piece. I think I'm gonna just get the helmet and crystals. I think, or maybe diamonds too. So I want to get this done. Show you how his work is. But so. We've got a lot of people doing a lot of things. I got another guy that paints, one of my homeboys from Michigan. I wonder if him and Nick know each other because they're about to say, no. Yeah, this cat is probably, Nick is probably, my friend Sean and Nick, Sean's from Detroit. Sean, you and Nick, you and Sean are probably the same age, so you might know Sean. I don't know. Detroit's bigger than motherfucker though, too. But Sean and you and Sean. And so Sean's a painter. Oh, you're in the Air Force. Okay. My brother was a sergeant in the Air Force. Yep. Lifetime. Well, what they're gonna do is the local junior high is going to be open for, well, actually it's an elementary gym that they get. So they're gonna get an elementary gym. Me and my son is gonna start hooping there, but we're also gonna start hooping at Lifetime. Or at least I am. I don't know if he is, but I am. So try to see. I'm a little scared to jump. I can shoot though. And if I can shoot, I can still handle the ball. So but shooting, falling, getting fouled is something I don't know. I'm trying to commission to become an officer. That's outstanding. That's outstanding. And as I said, I told my brother, compared, because I have 3 cousins that went into Michigan State like my ex-wife did. Full paid for because you was poor. They used to pay all your college if you was poor. No grants, no loans. If you was poor, they used to pay for your college. My ex-wife is a prime example. But my brother knows, our 3 Johnson cousins, they went to Michigan State through ROTC. One dropped out. The other 2, one became, I think, a captain, ended up being on the B-52 bomber. The other brother made it to fly jets. He was flying F-16 single seat, 1 seat, and 2 seat jets. But all through free college, because they grew up poor. Free college. That's what it used to be. You ain't had these loans or none of that. You applied, you got the grants. The grants you never had to pay back. And all them dudes used that to go through ROTC because they could, when they graduated, they was also ROTC commissioned officers. So, yeah, I am back in the Air Force, and they hate that black men are intelligent. I've been highly motivated. I am stationed in Alaska right now, but I'll be moving to South Dakota soon. Oh, bet. Well, that's, am I saying your name right? I'll call you Mr. Parker. AIM. I think it's just AIM. Okay. Yeah, that's positive. That's positive. You should have your bachelor's by early January, early February. Yeah, my son, I'm going to Michigan probably May because my son is going to graduate from Western Michigan, I think May. My oldest son's girl that he lives with, she's going to have her nursing degree probably January, February. I have to check because they might graduate around the same time. But she's already got her 2-year nursing degree, and she's about to get her 4-year nursing degree. So, yeah. Then my 16-year-old daughter is going into her junior year, very intelligent. My youngest daughter, I was telling this story. My youngest daughter, her mother got the idea we should put her in Spanish immersion. The good thing is, to go to college, you now have to have 2 years of foreign language. She already got that in kindergarten, 1st, 2nd grade. But when we put her in 3rd grade, she knew how to read Spanish. She didn't know how to read English. So she was like a kindergarten level of reading. And her teacher was great in 3rd grade. Said, look, she probably ain't going to catch up till about 8th grade. Well, She was wrong. My daughter has caught up reading from third grade. She went from kindergarten. You understand? In third grade, she started at kindergarten reading level in English. Spanish, she could read Spanish, but for English, she couldn't read that shit. You know, when she had to do homework, I had to read it to her. I mean, once she could hear it, like even story problems, you know, a lot of stuff she couldn't read it. So teachers, you know, made an exception, had to read some of this stuff to her. But she's caught up to grade level in 3 years. And we were told she wouldn't catch up till 8th grade. She already caught up. And again, her mother's an accountant, you know, good in math, good in science. But my other daughter, excellent, genius kind of chick, she's going to be smart. You have babies with dumb people, you're going to have dumb babies. And I love all my children. They ain't the brightest. With my second wife, the children ain't the brightest. One bright, well, my youngest is bright, but from being around me, he's bright. But congratulations. Aim, congratulations. Keep that hustle going, man. Keep that hustle going, no matter what it takes. Because education in college is still a way. The thing that people really get discriminated against the most in the lie of saying all these jobs you gotta have a college degree, because that was a lie that businesses did for probably 40 years. That was a lie that Floyd made them had to come out and admit you don't need degrees to do this shit. Floyd forced that on them when they needed workers, because every job they have to show you how to do the job the way the company needs to do it. There ain't no job where you can just step in the shit you learned in college, you just step in and do it. It don't work like that. College is to put some skills that you hopefully can apply to the job. Again, that's where, you know, they tell you experience. As I was just saying, you know, the Boule tell you you need to work for somebody. My grandfather worked for himself, and they didn't like hard work. They understand it, hard work. Yeah, a farmer get his back broke, but it's hard work. You work for yourself. They want the comfort of working for the man. I just came across that paper. I'm like, that's bullshit. Who do you work for? I work for my goddamn self. I did that for 23 years when I repped. I worked for myself. I had all these different options to go where I wanted to go, you know, going ref. But basically, I worked for myself. And I was one of the first kind of refs that saw I could do it all the time. I went from football to volleyball, of course, basketball. And basketball go all summer. It ends in March, and then basketball restarts, April. The men finish in March, all the high school stuff, and then a month later, the AAU circuit goes back up. So it goes all around, you know. And there's high school refs that can follow all that kind of high school little children basketball. So you can make a decent amount of money. Yeah, you don't really need to go to college. You just need to learn the skill. That's it. You learn the skill. Oh, my back is sore. I had a good day. But yeah, so I think moving forward, I think I'm going to take off most Saturdays. If Sly ends right at 1, maybe. But I just kind of like not having to do the show on Saturday. I think if I just do it 4 days a week, I'll have a little more energy. Craziest psychedelic experience? I don't know, man. It's just so funny. I remember I dropped some acid, and I used to always carry my 357. And I think this day I didn't have it I used to carry it, and I used to carry it in a pouch, you know, a gun case. This day I had it stuck in my pants. And my ex-wife and I went into Burger King, and there was a cop in there getting some burgers to it. I got paranoid. The motherfucker, I'm on this ass and I'm paranoid. And we walked in, I just tripped out. And I just gave my ex like 20. And I was like, you ordered the food. You know, just paranoid shit like that. So that is probably the weirdest psychedelic experience. I mean, I use weed to really get to the next stage of things. So weed sometimes can take you, as I said before, you know, the one-way mood came to me. It's like, as soon as I start meditating, I get into it, I'm just seeing this giant head. So that has happened to me where Moo actually was trying to. Other times, I'll tell you this, other times to see Moo, I had to come out of the world and go into space and see this giant body in space. So sometimes she came to me as just a head. Other times she came to me as like a big giant body in space. So I guess I could add those in, but nothing. It helps. Like Bomber talks about something that people, when you meditate, they're like when you. What I notice, I'll say this: when you meditate during the day, there's not as many layers. Like as I say, when you close your eyes, you start seeing layers of other realities. Or just the ethers, but more than the ethers open up. When you do that at night, you can see where there's more people. It's like the space is filled up more. It's interesting. It's an interesting phenomenon. Meditating at night, you just see that there's more minds out there. So the space that for you to roam is more. It's a lot more that you'll see and experience. Again, sometimes you break away to the true reality. Now there's a reality that is just as blue as what we see, but it's real. And I know that's a hard phenomenon, but there's a blue reality with the sun and everything that we break through that is not this. And that comes like sometimes you'll be in it and then it closes just like that. But it's just like this, but you see the real sun, you see the real reality that's not this. So sometimes you can break through and see that too. So because we live on reality on top of reality, and not in the string theory way, actually. So any advice on marriage? I have a girlfriend and we've been dating since February and talking since November. She's smart and I love her, but I don't know if I'm ready to get married. I'm only 22. Love ain't got any age. What you really want to sit down is look at, does this make business sense? At 22, you're old enough to put your life. And I'll say this: if you get married, it will help your path, no doubt. If you get married and you and her say, okay, this is what we make, and these are the goals we want to have as a married couple. Now we're gonna have children here, with the home and our careers, and so that's what you got to balance. But you got to look at it as a business. Go into it as like a business because you're taking on another partner. And does it make sense of the two businesses joining together? And have a real plan. As I say, I got married at 26. We had a house in 2 years. And I wasn't making a whole lot of money. My wife was teaching. I was making $5 an hour being a security guard at the time. Still going to school sometimes. Hustling. And we were still able to get a house. Great. I had good credit despite didn't have a good job, but I had good credit. I only made $5 an hour and I had good credit. Do you know how good life can be? Even though you don't make that bunch of money, but you got credit? Because that's the country. The country is always run like that. So look at it as a business. And it ain't too young. Now, if you don't love her, that's another thing. But again, it's a business. You learn to love a person. And a lot of times you look at that person and be like, damn, I'm fortunate I got this person in my back. They have my back. That's the best thing about marriage. And if you see that in that person, a lot of times you might not never see it again. Love is a very splendid thing. And don't let, society or age say you can't get married, because you can. And in some ways, that'll settle you down the rest of your life. Nobody wants to say that, but that's what marriage can give you. It can settle you down. If you mature enough, if you still want to be a player pimp and you're good at it, if you think you can get married and still be a player pimp and you're good at it, that can survive as well. So, know you. But as a business, getting married makes a lot of sense, especially getting married young. If you say you're about to graduate, that's great. But a lot of people don't want to say that. I don't understand the angry brothers that don't like sisters. Beautiful sisters can't resist it. I don't understand that. I don't understand how dudes. God, I had so much sex in high school. I couldn't even tell you. I, I like I didn't even masturbate. Women would masturbate, but I never masturbated as a little boy, especially in high school because I was having sex since like too early, too early, too early. Well, definitely in junior high, having sex in junior high. So in high school, it was still in the free love. So can't imagine cats that didn't have sex in high school. I can't imagine that. Men, dudes. I want to say shit. When I was in high school, I probably had sex every day. When I was in high school, I probably had sex damn near every day. My senior year, I know I did. Because I went one girl the whole year. And I had sex with her damn near 300 times in that year we went together. Because I used to count. I don't know why I did, but I counted. So I don't understand dudes that, didn't have sex in high school. In college, come on. I probably slept with 60 to 100 women in the 3 years of college. And then I was still, when I didn't play football and was just started working, I probably had sex with another 10. And that ain't including the women that lived in Greensboro. That was another 10. So I don't get guys that, get in their 30s and 40s and get women. And the dudes that got to use this to get women, So, I don't get that. That wasn't my experience. And I know my 27-year-old son, that wasn't his experience because I know he was having sex with a teenager. So the brother's mad at women. I ain't mad at women. Well, I'm going to give out the energy, and I think this is going to be a night. I'll be back on Thursday morning unless something makes me come during the day. So I want to give out the Om and energy. I got a funny story to tell you one day. Okay, bet. Chamberlain type of beat. I don't know about that, but I knew players that had like multiple women in cities, and he just drove. He ain't never fly, and he'd drive to these places and had women he'd be engaged to and shit, not knowing that he was engaged to people in other towns. And this is the omen. They made the mask out of jade. This is a block of jade. Look how thick this thing is. This came from a big old block of this stuff. It's all thick, solid. This came from a solid piece of jade. This is serpentine. This is jade. This is the Om and the mask. Of course, these are both representations of head one. This is kind of the same thing. Head one, same representation. And we also give you, another representation of the omen. So we just reclaim the energy that's naturally in America. We reclaim it. And as I say, when I say I'm the holder of the sacred infinite ball game, it's the one that's why I put all this stuff about these sports, these fixed sports. Because they've corrupted something that's sacred to us. A little boy just goes, shovels snow off a basketball court and just gets lost in the shooting. That's magic. We showed people back for hundreds of years that just putting the little ball through a hoop is magic. You don't need no equipment but the ball. And you can make the ball out of anything. The omen gave the world the rubber. And showed the world rubber, latex, with rubber balls. They found these 1,000-year-old balls, more than 1,000-year-old in some instances. It's one great gift they gave the world. It's nothing better than putting the ball through the hoop. Baseball, you need other people and equipment. Football, you need other people and equipment. Basketball, I would even say soccer in a way. You don't need anything but the ball. And it's an instant reward if you make it. And you shouldn't be belittled because you don't make it to a certain level. You got the reward every time you make it. And we wanted to put the pro sports back into the locals. We want local heroes again. I would even say we have a ban on TV sports for a minute once everything changes, so we can love our local heroes again and encourage local athletes. Where we, in our cities, we have our local people that we push. That we don't have untouchable heroes we see on TV that supposedly make all this money. Isn't it funny how they supposedly make all this money, but most pro football players be broke in 5 years? So it tells you they didn't get the money they tell you that they did. The contracts are a lie. That's one part of it too. Contracts are a lie. I think Super Sly says it best. The illusion of wealth is what they show you because they want you to feel that you need that too. So again, I'm stopped doing more. You want to hear more? Go back to the other shows. You can get more. I will greet you with more. But yeah, I ain't got really much more to say. I feel pretty good tonight. So that's what I think I'm gonna go moving forward. Maybe do some Saturdays, but for the most part, I think I'm gonna take Saturdays off and only do 4 days a week. Do 3 days, take a day off, and do 1 day. So I think for my mental health and rest, that'll probably work better. So this is the Chocolate Mountain Show. Thank you guys who joined me. Because it's fun. No, don't need to say that. Don't need to cast that because they would love that kind of thing. Let me see. To the witches that help, thank you for helping me. I think in some ways y'all are my girls too because y'all help. Thank you. I want to put that out there. I talk shit about y'all, but I think when y'all help me, I thank you. You know, I understand. Super Sly, if you hear this, I got to give you a call. I got to ask you some shit. Looking for some names to try to put this stuff together. I wasn't getting no notes. So this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Till we meet again, say less.